Y'all, lately I've just been wondering why sometimes I just get so full of anxiety, so full of stress, so full of things and worry when dealing with my daily schedule, dealing with my daily responsibilities and with my jobs and everything. I just wonder sometimes why I can't just be at peace and have peace throughout it all. I know my plate is full. I know my plate. I know the size of my plate. I know what's on my plate. I'm not complaining about that. It's just throughout my daily schedule, like I just get so frustrated because there's so much to do, and I feel the time crunch, I feel the deadlines, I feel it all, and I'm just like, sometimes I get frustrated in the fact of why can't I just be at peace throughout it all. And then God had reminded me, he's like, you know what is peace to you? What do you think peace really is? And I'm just like, for me not to deal with this mess and honestly, and to just be honest and to really just be out there with it, to really just not have to have so much weight on my shoulders, to be able to just be at ease and just not have any, worries or anything. So no, I don't feel like I'm at peace. Sometimes I feel like it can be very chaotic, with everything that I have going on. So I'm just like, why, God? Why is it like that? And God really reminded me, he said, peace is really to just, if you look at the definition of what peace is from how I understood it, just to be free of the chaos, to be free of the disturbance, to be free of it all. So I'm like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, I ain't, cause I got so much going on. But then really thinking more deep into it, God was like, okay, what about freedom? What do you think freedom really is? Freedom is to just, definition wise, is to really just your right to act or to behave or to think in the way that you choose, the way that you believe. You have that right. You're not subjected to a certain way, regardless of what people may try to do. You have that freedom for yourself, regardless. So God was like, okay, so you have the freedom to have your peace. So regardless of what's going on, you have your freedom to have your peace. And he kept repeating that to me, freedom and peace. So I was like, okay, what are you trying to say? Sometimes I have a little slow moment, like, I hear you, but I don't hear you. So he was like, really focus on those two words, freedom and peace. Freedom, it's your right. You have the authority to think, act, behave the way you choose, the way you believe. Peace is to be free from that frustration. You have the freedom to be away from that frustration, that disturbance, that chaotic feel that you have. So I was like, okay, God. He said, so you can have peace anytime you want. You have the freedom to have the peace anytime you want. You just have to really shift your brain and shift your perspective on it. I'm just like, well, I'm not complaining about my plate, but Lord, sometimes I can feel the pressure. And God was just like, yes, you have these things before you. Yes, your plate is full. Yes, your plate is nice and stacked. But you always have the freedom of peace. You have to believe and choose that every time, not just for yourself's sake, but for the people around you. You always have to be at peace because they are needing you, what's within you, to stay alive. If you sit there and you allow all these things very little, very minute, if you allow all these things to get to you, you won't be able to live at peace. Be able to operate in peace. And that's mostly important to me, to be able to operate in peace regardless of what's going on. So it's really, God is saying, I really need to shift my perspective, shift my mindset from what it is. Yes, I have things I have to do. Yes, the plate is full. Yes, it's stacked pretty high. But the matter of the fact is really just me taking it all in and really just setting it up in my mind that regardless of whatever happens, regardless if I can't avoid problems or avoid things that pop up, that I still have that freedom and that power to live in peace. So regardless of what it is, regardless if I have everything and there's no choice for me but to have it, I always have that freedom to live in the peace. I always have that choice. It's always my choice. It's my right to live in peace. So regardless of whatever it is. And I just apply that to everything that's going on, everything, because we're always going through something in the world. We're always living in some kind of something. Something's always going on, especially times right now. It's very uncertain. Things left and right pop up all the time. And I look at certain people and I just wonder are they such, like they're just in peace all the time. It's simply because they choose to live that way, because they're right to live that way, and they choose and they act and they behave and they live in that, regardless of what's going on. And even thinking back on history, thinking back on things that other people had to endure in different cultures and everything, how they still live at peace because they chose to. Simply, it's a mindset. It's a perspective thing. It's not something that you have to force. It's not something that you have to figure out the recipe to get to. It's simply just you just saying, you know what, regardless, I'm going to live at peace. And when I say, they choosing to live at peace, is because they identify themselves with peace, and they identify themselves through Christ. And Christ is love. Christ is peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding. That's who he is, regardless of it all. So all that to say, really, me thinking on it as I'm saying it now, to live in peace and to have the freedom of peace, regardless of whatever is going on, because I feel like there's always something that's going to be happening. There's always something that will pop up that is just not, going to make your day the perfect day. Is to just really just live in the faith of knowing that God got it, regardless. Living in that faith of knowing that it will be taken care of. Living in the faith of knowing that it will be all right, regardless of how we may feel or think in that moment. And there will be times where, you want to just lose your cool, lose your temper. You may lose it, or you get frustrated and it feels so much and it piles on. But to really just live in that and choose peace regardless of whatever, it's your right, it's your freedom. So regardless of what it is, choose peace every single time. And there's going to be people out there that's going to try to take that from you, because it's such a great asset to have. Regardless of whatever's going on, that you're always chill. Sometimes people live for the moment for you to react a certain way, live for the moment for you to get out of character, just so they can attest and prove to not just themselves but to other people of what this image they have of you in their head, because they see that anointing on you, they see the calling on you, they see the character within you, and either they're jealous or they want that for themselves, or they, whatever the case may be, they just don't want your light to shine, and they will do whatever it takes to try to dim your light. So whatever, just live at peace. It's very peaceful out here, and I'm just loving it. It's been great so far, just to be able to distress and to be outdoors and to breathe without a mask on my face. Like, it's amazing. But I just encourage you guys just to live in your freedom of peace, regardless of whatever you got going on, regardless of the daily struggles, regardless of the daily challenges, how chaotic life may be, regardless if it's from the news or from personal life. Just choose peace. Live in the freedom of your peace. And that's just a recipe for just having a chill life. Like, regardless of whatever it is, things are going to happen, and you have to just look above it every single time and renew your mind to know that, hey, sometimes it's not for me to have to worry about. Sometimes I just need to have faith in God that this is going to be taken care of, and whatever it is. But peace every single time. Encourage you guys. It's a beautiful day out. Go chill in peace.